All right. So the best salesperson doesn't seem like a salesperson. Have you ever heard, like, say, that guy's a great salesperson? You meet him and they're not somebody you like.
Yeah.
They seem like a used car salesman. But then you go look at the people who are amazing, have huge books of business, and they don't really seem like salespeople. They seem like people.
Yeah.
Right? Somebody who's a resource, if you can, they'll call you because they got a question. Hey, I was wondering about this and that. You heard anything about it? You got to be careful of that because you can give away free consulting.
Okay.
I sometimes ask you, like, am I getting paid for this? Should I turn on the meter? But I was like, that lady was avoiding me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a good salesman is not avoided. She was avoiding me. A good salesman doesn't get stuck in voicemail jail. You're not biased. You don't lean towards one particular solution. You're looking for the best solution for your client. Been around a while. How long have you been doing this now? A few months?
Started March 4th.
Okay, so you're 2 months in. So you're 2 months ahead of zero experience. Just think what it's going to be like in another 6 months.
I know. That's what I'm trying to kind of focus on, that, again, kind of going back to my problem is I knew this would be an issue for me because of how I am. You go from doing a job for 8 years and you're the master at it, it like the back of your hand. People come to you to ask, other guys that do it come to you to ask questions. Your boss even wants input from you. And then I come here and I'm,
frustrating, isn't it?
It really is. I mean, I don't want to, it's frustrating. It's very frustrating to me not being good or great at what I do.
Okay. You've just hit the real key, Buster. You're never going to be great until you think you're great. So the problem's in here.
Oh, yeah. I know.
Head trash.
I know.
You are great. What's your last name?
Franklin.
So you are great at being Buster Franklin.
The best.
There's nobody else who can do it as well as you do. Right? You're in a new field. Okay? You don't have a lot of product knowledge. There's a story about this guy who goes to he started working for Kmart. And he goes to Kmart University, and they bring him into the Kmart as the local store. But he's had 2 weeks of learning how to do inventory and, all this, how to work all the systems. But he doesn't know anything about sales yet. He doesn't know anything about the store. But he walks in and he goes to the boss, goes, hey, I'm here for my first day. And the boss goes, I'm really busy right now. I got no time to train you right now. I want you to go here. Come on. And he takes him to the back of the store. And he flips over a paint can, a paint bucket, sits down and goes, just sit here and stay out of trouble. So the guy sits there, right? He's got the Kmart shirt on, the big K. The lady comes up to him and goes, young man, do you sell space heaters? And he said, well, ma'am, it is my first day. I'm not sure, but I do think I saw an aisle over there that had space heaters in it. You want to go take a look? And they walk over and they look and he goes, look, there's some space heaters here. She goes, I wonder how this one works. He goes, I don't know, but I'll bet it's got an instruction manual inside the box. You want to take a look? And they open it up and they look over the instruction manual and she says, do you think this would keep my husband warm? I just want one room of the house warm because he likes it way warmer than I do. And I want the rest of the house warm. I just want his room to be warm. Well, let's take a look. It says, well, look here. It says it heats one room up to, 5 degrees warmer or whatever, with a very minimal expensive. I know. You think that would work for you? She goes, I think it would. How do I buy it? And he goes, well, I don't know how this store works, but I did see checkout counters up there up front. You want to go up and give it a try? And they go up to checkout counters and he sells his heater. And she's walking out and she grabs the manager. He goes, that young man over there? That's a good kid there. That's a good salesman you got there. And he goes, yeah, thank you. And this goes on for like 2 or 3 weeks. And suddenly he gets one morning he comes in and there's an email from corporate saying, your store is up 200% in space heater sales. What's going on? And he gets on the phone and he goes, we got this new guy He doesn't know anything, but I sat him over there by the space heaters, and he's helping all these old ladies, because it's getting to be that time of year where they want to keep one room warmer for the husband. He goes, well, here, send him to space heater school. So I don't know. They send him off to the school for like his GE makes, I don't know, whoever makes space heaters.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes and he sits in this class and he learns everything there is to know about space heaters. He comes back and he goes back there and he's sitting on the bucket like this. He can't wait, just someone comes up and goes, do you sell space heaters? Do we sell space heaters? Bill, roll the tape. Look at this. You got space heaters. He starts dumping all this product knowledge all over him. She goes, I just want to know if I can keep one room more for my husband. I don't want to know all that. Goodbye. Right? So what happened there?
He wasn't they just want to keep a room warm. He wants to explain the whole process of it. He's not solving their particular problem. He's telling them what he knows.
In the beginning, he was a dummy, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was ignorant, but he made people feel okay because he told them, I'm a dummy. I'm ignorant. I'm brand new. I don't know a lot about this. But they went on a journey together to find out, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
Now, then he went to the bottom of the dummy curve. We call it. It's a little curve goes out like this. He's down at the bottom where he's got all this product knowledge, but he's spewing it, right? Features, benefits. He's he's vomiting all over this lady. Does anybody want that? Oh. So a professional goes up to being dummy again, but he does it professionally. He says, I do know something about space heaters, but tell me what your problem is, right? He gets into their head, finds out what they need. So that is a true story, by the way, although it was about 30 years ago.
Michael calls that what the guy did. Michael calls that spilling your candy all over the lobby floor.
That's the Sandler rule for that is don't spill your candy in the lobby.
Yeah.
You don't want to give away free consulting. That's a good rule to remember, by the way. It's no free consulting. You don't want to tell people how to do it. What do they need you for if they know how to do it?
Yeah.
So I still have more I wanted to talk about, so I'm not done with this yet. I'm going to get out of this one and get to a different I've got a different one I want to open up to show you. See if I can find it here. I've got a lot of PowerPoints, so. All right, that's not the one I'm looking for. Thought I put it on here. Well, that's not it either. I'm looking for PEO sales. I might have to switch over to my other computer, which I can do very easily. So let me do that.
I tell you what, I'm going to run to the restroom real quick, okay?
Yeah, let's take 2 minutes.
Okay.
All righty. We only got a few more minutes.
All right.
Just, I wanted to just go through this thing real quick.
And you say you're going to be able to, I'm very computer illiterate, but you're going to be able to send me all this information so I can go back over it?
Yeah, I'm just going to send you the PowerPoints.
Okay.
I can send you links to these videos too.
Okay. Whatever you think's helpful.
Eventually, once, like I said, this is Forerunner. This is us working out the details.
Okay.
Because I've been doing this for Sandler for a few months now. We got it set, but I want to do it strictly for PEO payroll services.
Okay.
This is actually going to be the first class. You know, and this I'm going to define what the employer duties are, which you've probably seen all these. I don't know if you know what Title IX is. I'm not sure I know what it is. I just know it's some HR thing where they got to be fair to everybody who's, you know, regardless of sex, you know, gender or.
Yeah, I think I know that actually from the NCAA.
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
EOCC. Okay. These are my friends, Fred and Frida Frazzle. They own a small business and the employees are driving them crazy. So that's what you're looking for. Freddie and Frida Frazzle.
Okay.
The basic HR functions, which we address a lot of. Okay. Payroll, taxes, garnishing wages, handbook, procedures, training, policies, forms, documentation, storage, employee assistance program, resolving conflicts, how to hire and fire somebody so it doesn't backfire on you, and you know what signs you need to have in your place. That's all basic HR functions, right?
Yes, sir.
So, what number was that? That was 8. No, that's 9. You're going to break 10 here. You're going to get in double figures. So the advanced HR functions, which Payroll Medics gets into, as do all the PEOs, are those things. You mentioned you use workers' comp as a tool. I don't know what you're doing with health insurance. Doesn't matter. Benefits, all that other stuff. Legal advice, that one's kind of sketchy. But you know, how many PEOs do I know that have prepaid legal or what's called Legal Shield?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, you have to deal with that a lot. Okay. Basic payroll functions. I'm going to go over that. That a basic payroll service takes no liability. You're a little bit different than that because you guys are more than basic payroll. You're what I call ASO.
Mm-hmm.
But legally, you're really not assuming any liability. The employer is still the employer, and they're liable for everything. So a basic payroll service like ADP or Paychex or QuickBooks, they're using your bank account, they're using your federal ID number, and 100% of the risk stays with you, the employer. Okay, I have a picture of it there. See, like the employer and the employees have some shared responsibilities. The payroll kind of there is off, you know, their little bubbles off by itself. Well, then you get into ASO, which is what I consider Payroll Medics, is you administer the comp and certain benefits, and you do take some of the liability because you're going to give HR advice, right? It's a little cheaper than a PEO, as it should be, because you're not taking as much risk. But 100% of the risk still remains with the employer, okay? But there's expanded HR functions, and that's kind of what that looks at. See, the circle touches a little bit there.
Okay.
But then you get into PEO.
Tell me what PEO stands for.
Right there. It's on the Professional Employer Organization, PEO. Becomes the employer of record, which means everybody is considered an employee of the PEO. Now, they're also employees of the employer, right? It's a co-employment situation, but there's shared liabilities all over the place. The PEO is just as liable as the employer is for anything like a lawsuit, a comp claim, an unemployment claim, any kind of claim, sexual harassment, you know, unfair hiring, termination, whatever. Okay, so a lot of them, they almost all administer the comp all the time. Although lately they're carving it out. Some of the big ones I find out when I work with agents, I tell the agents, you can keep the comp. We're not going to take that away from you. We just want to do the payroll and the benefits.
Okay.
And they like that. They take the significant portion of the liability. And so their cost reflects that assumption of the risk. They're more expensive because they're taking that assumption. And you use the PEO bank account. In other words, the PEO pays your employees and then it bills you. They don't pay it out of your account. They bill you and then, or they may ACH you. I don't know. But in other words, you usually see a bill first, like this is what your payroll bill is going to be. And then you have it maybe 6 hours or to 24 hours to say no. And then they take it. But you have a chance to see what they're paying first. That is an advantage over a lot of payroll companies, particularly ADP and Paychecks, because sometimes they just run the payroll and don't even, if you have default numbers in there, they just run a default payroll and they don't tell you. Now, some PEOs do that too, but they usually send you an email warning you, hey, this is the payroll we're about to run. Okay. So that's what the PEO model looks like. Then there's this new thing called employer of record. Have you heard of this?
I have not.
Okay, this is when staffing companies shop out their services, called employee leasing.
Okay.
It used to be the way PEOs worked, but most states put in the co-employment laws. The only one I know that has it is Texas. It's a gray area. In Florida, it's considered a gray area. They think that because in order to have a PEO license, you have to have more than 100 employees. So they say as long as they don't have 100 employees that are with other companies, they're in that gray area. Okay. And the people I've talked to up at the Department of Insurance have no intent of enforcing it because they're getting people covered that wouldn't be covered otherwise.
Okay. Reverse
staffing, it was known as. The comp, and it's usually always because of workers' comp. It's like roofers and truckers and stuff. That's why they're there. If you look at it, the EOR, and they become the owners of the employees, really. The employer has no direct control of the employees.
Okay.
He may be telling them what to do, but legally they can call up the staffing company and say, hey, this guy's telling me to do that. And the staffing company said, well, don't do it. I'm responsible for you. Don't do it. So there's sometimes health and benefits, but it's usually comp driven. The cost is more expensive because they take all the risk. They use their own bank account and everything. Michael and I have some clients with EORs because it's the only way we can get them covered. You'll hear him mention Greg Arnold. I don't know if you've heard his name. Greg runs an EOR that we use a lot. Okay. So just to review, and this would be a class. I would go through this in about 15, 20 minutes.
Okay.
And then the rest of the next hour would be fixing problems. Tell me what's going on this week. Like you said, you have trouble talking to people. Then we would go into that. And there'd be hopefully 10 or 15 people in the class so we get some interaction. So I just defined those numbers over there. Does my mouse show up moving around there or not? Oops.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so over there, and then those are just the facts. There's optional duties, there's required duties. The cheapest is the least service. The expensive are the ones with the most service. Okay, I just wanted you to be exposed to that because I'm going to email you this too, but I need your email.
Okay. It's Buster at Payroll Medics.
Oh, that's easy.
Yeah.
Is there a hyphen in there?
No, sir.
Okay. Well, that's 10. He hit it. Gotcha. All right. You've looked over what I've got here. Is there anything you can add or think I should get rid of, or what's your feelings on this?
My feeling is I'm glad to have somebody to talk to with so much knowledge. Everything was useful to me. I just, and again, this is going back to me. I got to take some. I don't even know if take pressure off myself is the right term I'm looking for. It is. Mm-hmm. I want to be good at this. I want to be knowledgeable, and I don't want to disappoint Michael. That's a big fear of mine too, is disappointing him. So, but no, this is very helpful to me. This is comfortable and very educational. So,
well, we'll do this again next Monday, 9:00.
Okay.
This code, by the way, this link is the one we're going to use all the time.
Okay.
So it's What was the number? I told you the number, didn't
You did. I remember the password, trusted.
I? Okay. It's
Um,
807-443-346. I'll send it in the email to you.
Okay.
Uh,
807-443-346.
yeah, and next week it'll probably be just you, me, and Michael. I might have a couple of my guys in there, but then the week after it's open to the public.
Okay.
And I'm going to see who, any salesmen who want to pay to come to it. And I'm not disclosing price. I'm going to negotiate price with everybody individually.
Okay.
But it's an hour and a half of my time, and just so you know, I do charge $275 an hour as a consultant. So
Okay.
you're not paying. Michael's taking care of it.
Okay.
Well, it's also because you're one of my franchisees.
Okay.
Do you know how the whole employer-nomics thing works?
No, sir. Nah.
Oh, 11. Let's see what I can show you that kind of clears up what that is. Where's my franchise? There we go. So, I gotta open it up. That's why. I'm trying to click through folders here to show you little things that work. Where did I put that under? Maybe it's under training. There it is, training. Okay. What the? Oh. This thing's giving me a hard time. I just want you to open up the damn picture. Huh. That's really odd. I can't just look at a picture. How do you just open up? I'm using my laptop when I usually use my big computer. But this is really weird. All right. You should be able to just open up a JPEG file and look at it. Let me see. See if this pops up. Okay. Let me share this to you now.
Okay.
I got to go click on share. Okay. Oh, and it's the windows are in the way over there. Let's see if I can shrink it down some. See, the old thing I could on Windows XP, I could have just slunk it down. How do you move these? There we go. Resize. That's what I want to do. Oh, I don't want to save the copy. I just want to so you can see it. Stop it. Anyway, can you see this thing?
Yes.
Okay. We have the client with the employees, and we got employer-nomics represents. That number's up to 400 now, by the way, 400 PEOs, and we've reduced it down to 20 payroll companies because there were some in there that were liars. And there's also some staffing companies and HR companies in there. But basically, this is what employer-nomics is. We got the corporate office, you, the franchises. We have a back office. We have support staff, and we have the matchmaker, which I am going to show you. If I go to the matchmaker, I don't know if this is sharing this with you or not. I'll make sure it is. Let's see. So you should be seeing this one now.
Okay.
And I'm going to put in my email. And what this does is allows us to go in and enter clients, new clients. For example, right here, let's see, I think this is one, no, I'm gonna look for one of Michael's. All right, this is one Michael's working on. It's all Space Coast roofing.
Mm-hmm.
If I click on it, it opens up the Accord form, the application. As you can see, and it goes through all the information that he put in there, roofing, 200,000 of payroll. I don't know what's going on with this one right now, but I can go up to the top and I can look at history. And then there's all kinds of notes about what's going on with this client. It's been sent out to the market, so we're waiting for somebody to quote on it. if I go back to waiting on the client's decision, and I can go down and see who's quoted on it. Oh, it's showing me over on my screen there. I can see what it looks like. Okay. So no, that's the wrong one. Where's the line? Well, there's a line. Okay, Rose Employment has clicked on it and is looking it over. ATS is clicked on it and is looking it over. They have not set a quote yet. People at least sent a quote. Okay, that's the next one down there. So these are wait a minute, no, that's the wrong guy. These are the only ones. He's got Rose and APS. Neither one of them have sent a quote yet. Let's see what else he has in here. There's another one he's got in here that's actually got some quotes. I just want to show you what a quote looks like. Oh, here it is, Tuned Up Services. Okay, Tuned Up Services has some quotes. So we look at the pricing, and we choose a vendor like Light Source HR. And here is the quote. It's got the class code, the number of employees, payroll, what the workers' comp and admin is, and what those costs are. And then there's a second sheet that shows all the little details. Is there a minimum charge? There's a deductible of $500. EPLI is included. Taxes, the federal and state unemployment are normal. That's good. $25 delivery fee. If you ACH, sometimes you get rid of those delivery fees.
Okay.
$1,000 setup fee, and there's a $500 collateral put up. And then they put in a little note here, client must process at least 80% of accepted payroll, blah, 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 blah. So that's the quote that we now have from them.
Okay.
If we look at the other ones, let's see what QBS is right down the street from you, right? And they've got similar numbers.
Okay.
Let's see what they have. $500 deductible, 11 cents per thousand for EPLI. So they charge for it. They have a nice low deductible. Delivery fee is only 18, and it's not approved yet. I really wish they wouldn't quote without getting them approved, but they do. That's one of the things Dave does with QBS. He does quote without approval. Then Cornerstone is a company I work with. I introduced them to. Their prices are the lowest, which is not surprising at all. Although I bet he's got a big setup fee. Oh, minimum $240 per payroll. Workers' comp charge. Nice low SUTA savings there. Only a $395 setup fee. I'd go with this one. Let's see if he does. So that's a little bit about what our system does.
Okay.
And I can see if anybody else is on. Like Tim is the guy, he's our back office. He's on right now, but I'm not going to, I could chat with him if I want. I could pop up a little chat window and talk to him. And he may or may not answer. Then I have a profile. I'm Mr. Wonderful. I don't know if you watch Shark Tank.
I recognize the face.
And then there's all the information about me. I could change my avatar if I want. I got a company letterhead I've uploaded. Thought I did. Maybe not. Oh well. Anyway. So that's our there's a lot of other stuff that go in there, accounting, once you get, but at some point you're going to use this, although right now it's restricted to just Michael and I.
Yeah.
And a couple other guys who we trust. And that's because the guy who runs this, Tim, he gets real upset if people put stuff in and then don't follow up. So, and by the way, I'm always on Michael about that. I would appreciate it if you would say to him, at least once a week, have you updated your notes? See this thing that says task? I keep it at 0. I'll bet you Michael says something like 12. Well, actually, I can look. Don't tell him I did this.
Okay.
I can impersonate him. Let's see, where am I? I can. There should be a way to impersonate them. I'm not seeing it. Maybe they took that away. I used to be able to do that. I used to be able to go over here, and then the little thing came up that said impersonate. It act like Michael. I guess they are changing things on the system all the time, and that might be under development. But I could go in and look and see how many tasks he has, but not right now, I guess.
Yeah.
Let me see. Maybe there's something I could do. Yeah, see system update. We're updating the system. Okay. He doesn't have any users. Does he have any events scheduled? Let me see if I can see that. No, that's just a scheduled events. Oh, wait, there we go. Scheduled events. No, he doesn't have anything. He hasn't assigned any agents. He needs to put you in as a broker. Anyway. All right, just the usual garbage stuff.
Okay.
So that's the matchmaker, okay? And it's a, that is, we use that, and I am actually, what time is it? Yep, this is my time limit. I'm normally going to stop at 10:30, but we started late.
Okay.
Last takeaway from today.
My takeaway from today is I've got to relax and realize that I don't know what I'm doing to get better at what I'm doing.
But that's a good thing.
Yes, sir.
11, 12. You want to be the guy who's like, hey, I may not know what I'm doing, but I know who to ask. I may not be able to get you the answer you want, but I know who I can ask. You give me 3 phone calls, I'll get it.
And see, I feel like that's going to, and I agree with you, but in my head, I'm thinking if I do that, it's going to make me seem ignorant. But that's okay.
There's nothing wrong with being ignorant.
Because I'm here to help.
I still use it. I'm relatively new at this. Okay. But the good thing about that is that I'm not going to be doing the actual work. I'm representing the people who are going to do the actual work. Do you want me to go get somebody who knows what they're doing? I can do that. Or, if you don't feel comfortable working with me, I can find somebody.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's your takeaway is you need to get more comfortable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have I given you some tips on that?
Yes, you have.
All right. I'll email you the first PowerPoint.
Okay.
And next week what do you want to cover next week in practicing? Anything in particular?
What you're the master, I'm the pupil.
Well, I want you to come at me with some I need work on this, I need work on that.
Okay.
So
I think honestly, if I'm being totally honest, my 2 things are product knowledge and just self-confidence.
it's another thing I just heard you do. I want you to work on. I never say to be honest, or if I'm being totally honest or truthfully, because what does that imply?
That you lie sometimes.
That you weren't before. So I'll say, okay, if I get to confess to you, if I can tell you something I feel nervous about telling you is that I'm more concerned. You look for some other thing, because if I say, to be honest, I mean, you say like, well, you're just starting to be honest now. And that's a minor thing. That's a little thing I'm trying to work on in my speech.
Okay.
Take that out of there. Okay, so next week, have a win or a loss ready.
Okay.
Use some of this stuff this week. Go out and talk to people. Make some mistakes. And come back here next week and say, hey, Will, I was doing this one, and I made this mistake. And then we'll analyze it. We'll see what we could have done different.
Okay.
Fair?
Very fair. Sounds great.
Talk to you next week, Buster. And you'll get an email from me shortly.
Okay. Have a good day.
All right. You did. Let's see how do I exit this. Oh, there we go.